Hallå, hi and welcome. I'm Maja. You can find me as sjomajlin on Instagram and on Ravelry and on YouTube. Good timing. This is Friday, I believe it's the 27th of February 2015. Welcome. I've had a good week since last. It's been sort of low-key. I haven't done anything spectacular, which is good. We've had some sort of spring weather. The snow is gone and we've had above freezing. And I'm enjoying that. However, I don't believe it's gonna last. We usually have snow in sort of April. So we'll see, but it's been a good week, mostly. And I've gotten a lot of knitting done, so I'm gonna jump right into that. What was that? That was weird. I do have a finished object. I worked on this last week. It's a shawl pattern by Caitlin French, who is French, that is French with double F, on Ravelry. And this pattern is called the common bean. And it is a lace shawl designed for, I think it's for chunky weight, or well, larger gauge yarn anyway, so it's not lace for lace weight. There was a hair, and I thought for sure that I had it in my fingers, but it just slipped away, so I don't know what happened. I told you last time that sorry. Well, yeah, this is my hand spun. That I don't know what fiber content it is. That I wanted to use up. So I wanted to do something sort of lacy so that you get a lot out of the meters. So I did this, but I had my gauge was off. The suggested needle size for in the pattern is, I believe it's 8mm needles, and I used 4 for this yarn, which made it way smaller, obviously. So what I did was that I decided to join it in the round after, well, most of it was done. So it's a cowl, and it's weird. I kept on doing the increases here in the back where I joined it, and also the garter for the edging, which I think looks kind of cool. So it sticks out sort of like that, but I think that's cool. And while I was on it, the original pattern ends here with these, it's hard to show, with those vertical lines. But I decided to add on this sort of chevron-y stripe edging to get a little bit, what do you say, it's not picot, but these points. And the center of the shawl, which now is the front of the cowl, already has this, whoa, where am I? There. This sort of spine going down where you do, it's a free pattern, by the way, so I'm not giving the secret sauce of the pattern away. Where you do yarn over, knit one, yarn over, to create that sort of spine. So I made sure to align that pattern all the way down. So there's a lot of different textures and motifs in here, and let me get it on and not mess up my bangs. So it looks something like that, almost like a bib. And it's obviously much shorter. Can you see it? Where is my hair in the way? It's much shorter in the back, but I like that, I think. And then when I blocked it out, I pulled on the middle, so it stands up a bit more, but I don't mind. You can sort of fold it over a bit like that. So yay! I finished this, and as I said, it's out of my handspun, and I think it's good. I have some left over of this. I didn't finish up all the yarn. I'm thinking that I want to knit a small sock out of that yarn as well. I did this, sorry, with some of the yarn before Christmas. Just knit a small, tiny sock, or depending on how much yarn I have, or I had, out of some handspun. My sort of very first, just try to get a feel for it. It was really bad yarn, but it was still my first handspun. So I knit small socks of that, and with a little hank. Do you say that? No, that's not right. Loop, so that you can hang it. It's hank in Swedish. To have sort of as Christmas ornaments. So I wanted to have some out of this yarn as well. But I haven't done that yet, but I have some yarn left. But I think that this is nice. I'm happy with it. Yeah. So one finished object. And then I'm working on... Yeah, I knew there was some sort of twist. I'm getting to it. Sorry. I'm working on the Lado sweater that hopefully you've all seen by now. Out of Drops Fable. Different colors for the yoke and a brown colorway. For the body, it's sort of a heathery, almost a little bit... It's not a tweed yarn, but almost a little bit tweedy in the texture of it. I did finish the body. This is where I was last time, so I did a few more rows of stockinette and then ribbing for the body. And for this I tried a new to me bind off, which was suggested in the pattern. And it's the outline stitch bind off, which is a sewn bind off. And you can find it online if you want to look it up. Outline stitch bind off. And I really like it. It's designed to sort of look like the edge of a long tail cast on, which I think it does. It doesn't, I mean, you can't really see it. And it's not frilly, but it's also, can you see? I mean, it's as stretchy as the rib is stretchy, but it's not those frills that you can get with some of the super stretchy bind-offs. So I really like it, and I also did that bind-off on this to sort of, you know, what do you say? When you learn something, then you might want to do it, you know, a couple of times after you learned it, just to sort of, what's the word? Sort of confirm it. So I did that on this. And all these hairs. So I don't know if you can see, but it sort of looks as, because this is stockinette and not ribbing. And I'm not taking it off again, but it sort of looks like a long tail cast on, but on the other way, or on the other edge. And I think it works fine with just ribbing, with both ribbing and stockinette. So I'm really happy with that, learning that new to me bind off, and it was super easy. So check it out if you want to. All these hairs! Oh, by the way, my hair is a little bit more red than what it usually is, and I've had so many comments and compliments this week. I'm almost getting an airhead. So many people have commented and like, oh, that looks really good on you, and I'm like, oh, thank you, oh, thank you. Sorry. Yeah, so I finished the body anyway, and I've started the arm, or the sleeve. It's gonna be long sleeves, full length sleeves. Full length. I just said full length. Full length sleeves. So I have some left to do on this, obviously, and then I have the other one. But I've gotten good progress. I went to the movies on Tuesday. I saw a really good film. It's a Swedish film, so I'm guessing most of you won't. I don't know if it's available outside or internationally. It's called The Circle, but Cirkeln in Swedish. And it was really, really good. I read the books. It's based on the first out of 3 books. I read them this fall and fell totally in love with them. And now I saw the first movie and I really, really liked it. So, for those of you who are Swedish, gå och se den. Jättebra. And I did a lot of knitting in the dark on this sleeve. So that is coming along. I'm very anxious to have this done now. But sleeves are so boring. I just need to do it. So that is what I'm working on as well. That is one thing that I'm working on. And I've showed you this last time. I said I was knitting that sweater out of Drop's Fable, right? Yes, I did. Good. And this is a Katniss shawl that I'm knitting. I had finished the first... Project down! I had finished the front part of this last week, so I showed it to you. And now I've cast on the back. And just done a few rows. This is on 4 mils, I think, so it knits up pretty quickly, and it looks really bad against the white. It looks super, super airy. It's not. And I'm really enjoying this. I think it's gonna be good. However, it's black. And it's evening time. I don't really like having a lot of lights or lamps lit. I like having just, you know, sort of one lamp, sort of, what do you say, not like the overhead light that is, you know, sort of vacuum light, but sort of a small, what do you say, like area light, and then some candles. So I like to have it sort of dusk after dark. So knitting with black yarn is not, I mean, I could do it. I could have another light, you know, sort of where I'm at or anything. I could make it work. But I don't really want to, so I'm just working on this when I have daylight knitting time. So that is why it's coming along pretty slowly, because I prefer to do other stuff at night that I can do in slightly darker environment. So this is coming along a little bit more slowly than I would necessarily want to, but not slow enough so that I want to have a lot of lamps on, because I don't like that. I don't like it too bright. I love this yarn, however. You can see that it's a bit, I don't know if I would say it's a halo, but hairy rather. It's 50% wool, 25% baby alpaca, and 25, what's up? 25% mohair. It's called Shetland Deluxe. I've showed you this before. And as you can see, I got it for a really good price. And it's so soft. So is this, by the way. I've said a million times that I don't know what the fiber content is, because it didn't say when I got it. I think it might be merino silk, but I'm not sure. But it's very, very soft, so it's absolutely next to neck skin soft, and I'm loving it. So those are the works in progress you've seen before. And then I did cast on a sock, a skew sock, which is, the pattern is from Nitty. I think it's the winter issue of 2009 or something like that. It's free online. You can find it through Ravelry, but it's on the Nitty there. Oh, sorry. On their site. I've done a pair before that I really, really enjoy. I think that they fit my feet very, very well. So I cast this on with this yarn, which is Bärengarne, Strumpfgarn. I believe this is German. I believe this is German. Which is Tyskt in Swedish and Deutsches in German. So I was like, wait, what language am I talking? English. I believe this is the German yarn. So it's Strumpfgarn means sock yarn. And it is, the fiber content is 48% cotton, 39% superwash wool and 13% polyamide. So it's mostly cotton, but it's, because I'm not a huge fan of cotton, I think it's too, it's not scratchy, but it's too sort of rough. But this is really, really soft. And I know cotton yarn can be soft as well. I'm guessing I just had bad cotton yarn. But that sort of makes me not want to experiment with cotton yarn. But I really like this. This is very soft. And I believe that's because it's almost 40% superwash wool, which makes it soft, of course. And then some polyamide, so it's a good sock yarn. It's 100 gram ball and it's about 416 meters. With this sort of light pastel-y, this makes me crave citrus, like citrus candy when I'm knitting with it. I'm really liking these colors. I was saying, yeah, I did cast on back in October. I did cast on a pair of, or one skew sock with this yarn. The skew sock itself is knit on the bias, so it's sideways, which is really cool. Check it out if you haven't checked it out. It looks kind of hard, but it's not hard to do. You just have to really, you know, trust the pattern, trust the designer. But what you do is you increase on the one side and then you decrease on the other side. So the number of stitches, when you're at that part, the number of stitches is the same number all the time, but you change where they are. I like DPNs, double points. I like them. And I've done some magic looping. I don't really like that because I just feel as, you know, you're pulling on the cable all the time. And then I tried knitting with 2 circulars and I like that better, because then, yeah, I like that better than magic loop, but I like DPNs, so I don't mind. However, for the skew sock, since you're decreasing in one side and increasing on this other side, when I'm knitting with the DPNs, I'm using the 5 DPNs, so I have the sock, if it's a sock, on 4s, and then I'm knitting with the 5th. So I do have, you know, the front of the foot on 2 needles and the back of the foot on 2 needles. So when increasing in the one side and decreasing in the other side, that makes the stitch count vary between the needles. So you need to sort of adjust for that, which isn't hard to do, but it's sort of fiddly. So I wanted to try, because I wanted to make another pair of skews, so I wanted to try knitting them on 2 circs. So that's what I did cast on in October, or Socktober, with 2.5s, and the gauge was way off. And I'm sure you can recalculate this pattern, and maybe there even is a calculation of the stitch count and so on, but I haven't checked that out. So I wanted to have excuse me, the right gauge. So I did rip that out back then, and then I just didn't, you know, go back to it. And now I felt like revisiting it. So I am detangling the yarn, I am knitting this magic loop to try it out. I don't hate magic loop. It's just that I like deep ends, so I don't think it's, you know, sort of worth it with the magic loop. But then I'm thinking it might be worth it for this project where, as I said, the stitch count is the same, but they move if you have them on deep ends. So now I have the front on one side and the other, so they are all yeah. So I'm using my newly bought, I'm trying to remember when I did get this. I think it was, yeah, I'm not sure. It was just a few weeks ago anyway. Addi, I believe it's Addi Lace, size 2mm needle with 1 meter of a cable. And I really like this. I haven't, this is my first Addi needle. And I really like it. The cable is soft and the tips are pointy enough for me. I don't like them to be super pointy. I don't know if you can see if it focuses well enough. They're not sharp, but they are not blunt either. So I'm liking it, the needle, and so far I don't really, as I said, I don't really mind magic loop, I just don't necessarily like it. So I cast this on and I worked the toe with the increases, and now I'm to the part where you knit straight. So you decrease on this side and increase on this side. For the foot, so this is the big toe. Sorry, this is the big toe and this goes down your foot. And as I said, I love how this yarn knits up. It makes me crave citrus. Even though the blue doesn't really make any sense in that, but still. It's a little bit bigger or larger than the skew socks that I have, but I don't really think it's not too big. I feel as though there was something else I wanted to say about this. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, this is knitting up great this far, and I'm really liking the yarn and the needle combo, and I know from before that this is a pattern and a design that I really like. So this is working out great this far. So yeah, that is the new work in progress for when I did finish this. I don't have, I mean, I know some people have sort of, they need to have a specific number of projects going or something, and like some people have like, you know, 1 crochet, 1 knit and 1 ongoing, or like maybe an Afghan or something that is sort of a long-term project. I don't have that. I don't mind having fewer and I don't mind having more, but 3 is sort of what I like, so that I can vary around and change it up. And yeah, so those are my whips. No, this is my whip, those are my, no. This is my phone, those are my whips. I totally just mixed them up in my head, sorry. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Oh, sorry, I just cracked my toe. I hope you didn't hear that. It sounds awful. I am sorry. And now I totally lost what I was about to say. I had something. Okay. Someone asked me on the Ravelry group to talk a little bit about online shops that I like. And I'm guessing they meant Yarny or Fibery online shops. And I've talked about this once before, but since a lot of you guys are new-ish, I'm guessing you might not have seen that. There are a few sites that I've bought from, and that I wouldn't mind buying from again. There are a couple of Swedish sites that well, obviously I don't know if they ship internationally, because I don't look that up since I'm not international to the Swedish sites. But they are in Swedish, so I'm guessing that might be a problem, even if they do ship. I don't know. One site is garnkorgen.se that I really like, and I've also ordered from Garnsey a couple of times, and I really like that as well. But as I said, those are in Swedish. And there are other ones. There's a bunch of other ones as well, but I really like those. And then I've ordered from a Norwegian site that is called pickles.no for Norway. It's a good site. They have a lot of patterns. They have a lot of free patterns, and they have quite a few paid for patterns as well. And ow! Oh, my foot just started hurting. Whew. Okay, it's getting better. That was weird. That was weird. Sorry. It really hurts when I bend my toes. Weird. Sorry. Pickles. They do they do have a lot of what do you say, sets? Do you say that? You get the yarn and the pattern and a kit maybe. And I bought one of those, and it was really good. So I haven't bought a lot of them from them, but I still recommend them. It was a good site. I don't know how much of international shipping they do. They do ship to Sweden, at least, which is internationally, but it's not, it's not the most international you can get, so, but I'm guessing they do ship internationally. And I don't know if their page is in English, or if there's a version of it in English. I think there is. I'm pretty sure there is. But Swedish and Norwegian is sort of alike, so I might just have read the Norwegian, but I'm pretty sure there is an English version of it. So I've ordered from that site. And then I have placed some orders from easyKnits.co.uk, I think. And they have, it's a higher quality page, I would say, or web shop, which also of course reflects on the prices. But it's good stuff, I would say, the things I've gotten anyway. But it's not for... I haven't bought very much from there because it's a bit pricey, but the quality is good, as I said, so it's not overpriced, or I wouldn't say it's overpriced. But then there is the shipping from the UK, of course, which, yeah, it's added on, of course. But that's a good site as well, I think. And sometimes I just browse to see all the lovely fiber and dyes and stuff. And then there's another international site that is called Yarn Paradise. And I do not remember the last, what it's... Yeah, it's Yarn Paradise anyway. It's based in Turkey, I believe, and I've ordered from them a couple of times, and they're really quick, and the prices are really good. The quality is, well, you get what you pay for. The stuff that I've bought has been good to the price. It's not the best things I've ever worked with, the best yarns or best fibers I've ever worked with. I'm sure there are better stuff than things I've got that I've bought, and I'm sure there are worse things. They have a really cool what do you say, like browsing system. You could click through if you want to search by fiber content, or if you want to search by color, or if you want to search by thickness of the yarn and so on. So you can find really cool stuff. And it's sort of inexpensive. A lot of the time though you have to get sort of, you know, 4 skeins or sort of the pack. So if you're just looking for a single skein of something, it might not be the best place to go. But it's good yarn, I would say. However, I don't know anything about how it's produced, if it's, you know, any moral issues with how the yarn is produced. So I can't say anything about that. But it's a site that I've ordered from a couple of times, as I said, and yeah. Maybe not for the fancier stuff, the fancier projects, but maybe for just, you know, sort of a well, I've ordered some for charity knitting and stuff like that. So those are some of the, or I would say those are the international web stores I've ordered from when it's yarn related. And that is, I would say that is mostly the things that I get online as well. Other than, because as I said, I guess that you meant yarn stores online. I've been shopping as well from British Shop Abroad or something like that, where I could get some different teas that I can't find in Sweden. And some different stuff. I think it's British Shop Abroad. Yeah, but that is not, as I said, that is not yarn. That is food and some sort of lifestyle things. Yeah, I'm trying just to see, just think so I don't forget anyone that I was thinking of. I'll post it somewhere in that case, or talk to you about it next time. Yeah, I don't really have a lot to talk about today. Still, I've talked for half an hour, so. But yeah, once again, and I hear that I sound like a broken record, but there is a group for the podcast on Ravelry if you want to use it. It's called Sjomajlin group. I check it every once in a while, because I kind of think that maybe it's not, you know, it's necessary. There are so many groups to be active in, and maybe we don't all need, you know, one more place to look and be active, which is completely fine. But it's up there, so if you want to use it, please feel free to do so. And thank you. And I really don't know your names, but one person did start a new thread for congratulating me on 300 subscribers, and someone else also wrote in it, and thank you very, very much. And as I've said before, feel free to use it if you want to, but don't at all feel obliged to. But there is also a questions thread, so if you want to ask me questions to talk about on the podcast, it's up there. Use it if you want to. If you want to comment on YouTube, do so. If you just want to hit the thumbs up so that I know that you'll sort of like this concept, please do so. And you can, you know, comment on Instagram or PM me on Ravelry or anything. I've said this a million times. Make it work. Yeah. I was just thinking... There has been, you know, sort of just randomly, there are 2 TV series I've been watching quite a lot that I really, really like. So if you haven't seen them, check them out. The Big Bang Theory, I've been binge watching it from the start and trying to catch up. It's so good. I'm loving it. And it's really good to knit to. The episodes are sort of 20 minutes. So you can knit and then, you know, just take a pause, stand up, stretch, flex your fingers and start the next one and go on. Really good, and it's so funny. Check it out. The other series I really, really like is Once Upon a Time. I like to sort of binge watch when I watch series, so I don't really catch... I don't really see it when, you know, this week's episode this week and then next week's episode next week. I like to sort of wait till I have, you know, a couple of episodes to look on a row. So I'm not up to date with Once Upon a Time, but that's, for me, that is actually a sign of how much I really, really like that series. Yeah, check it out. It's awesome. It's well, I didn't say anything about Big Bang Theory either. If you have no idea, that is sort of a take on Friends, I would say. It has nothing to do with Friends, the series Friends, but it's a group of people, friends, and their sort of life-to-life, day-to-day life. Most of them are scientists in different areas, so it's sort of some of the jokes are pretty, you know, sort of smart. You need to have some knowledge maybe to appreciate it, I guess. I guess some people would find it sort of nerdy, and that's what I like. So Once Upon a Time, however, is a series about the old stories, fairy tales coming to life in a little town in USA. And you sort of travel between... I don't want to give too much away. They lived in sort of fairy tale land and then through a curse they were moved to our world. And they try to figure out who they are, who they were, and as a viewer you sort of see their adventure back when, but that is also sort of with a modern twist. But you totally recognize the stories, and then stuff happens in the present that they need to, you know, solve and figure out and rescue, or, you know, whatever it is. And then, you know, sort of old beefs from way back when in Once Upon a Time matters now because they need to, and yeah, it's really good. And there's an element of magic, so it's I mean, it's not fantasy, but it's not as realistic as some you know, sort of hospital series or whatever can be. Those episodes are longer, so you get more knitting time. But it's really good. Check it out. Once Upon a Time, and the other one was Big Bang Theory. And it really doesn't have anything to do with knitting other than I like to knit to them. But I've been watching a lot of Big Bang Theory lately, and I'm adding up to be binge watching a lot of Once Upon a Time ahead as well. So yay that. Yeah, that was the thing that I just fluttered by and I thought I might as well just share. I don't have anything else to say other than have a good weekend and a good week ahead. Create something, be creative, and yeah, be kind. Yeah. Awkward? No. Be kind to yourselves and one another. Drink a lot of tea. Stay warm, stay safe. And yeah, knit on. Bye.